Good evening, everyone. We're back today working on the old blue Willys, making a gas tank in my garage. Yesterday we left off, we unfolded the pattern for this foam buck that we built. And so here it is on a half sheet. So I had a 4x10 sheet of 18 gauge 304 stainless, which is a total pain in the rear to move around by yourself, let me tell you. So the first thing I did was promptly cut it in half. And that does a few things. One of them makes it really much easier to handle by myself. Number two, it does give me two chances at this very complex template and bending for the bottom of the tank. So you can see the template here. And don't worry, I found my pointy stick. So this is the template here that we unfolded. That is basically the bottom of the tank, except for this wall, which is this front section of the tank. So now that we have it all unfolded, we have it on a half sheet of material, we will go through, and I've already started this, basically laying it out with a lot of magnets. And what that helps is to keep the pattern from shifting around as you move to the various areas to do all the marking out. So I find that really helpful to keep with the pattern shifting and holding it down as flat as possible. There will be a little wiggle room here, but not a ton. So this helps out a lot. I use these little 3/4 by 3/4, how close I can get with this camera. So these little 3/4 by 3/4 by 1/4 neodymium magnets, they work for all kinds of things. Highly recommended. You can get them on Amazon or eBay, and I'm sure a lot of other places. I buy them by 20 or so at a time, and they eventually get lost, or you make the mistake of welding over the top of them once and they lose their magnetism. But so that's where we're at with this pattern. And so next we'll mark it all up, then we have to cut it out. Cutting it out is probably going to be mostly plasma, just to help get in some of the tight corners. I don't think a shear or an electric shear is going to work really good for some of the inside corners. I'd have to go back in and dress them all up with a small like angle grinder anyways. So I think the plasma will be better. I will probably go through and all the tight inside corners, like this one, these where multiple panels are all joining together, here, and drill a 1/8 inch or 3/16 pilot hole, and that basically helps all the corners fold up a little bit better. But other than that, it'll be pretty easy. It's just work. Just got to put in the hours, and that's what I'm trying to get back into doing. I think this YouTube thing is fun, sharing with you guys every day, kind of how I did on forums. I haven't quite got into the long format stuff, but this shorter format one take seems to be working pretty well. I do have a little bit of bonus here. I did dig out the mag brake from Eastwood and all the parts and pieces that I could find. So this is what I'll be using to bend it. These are basically a gigantic electromagnet that's built into here along underneath the clamp bar. And when that turns on, it sucks this bar, and this is the normal one. I have a kind of a pan version that has gaps in it for flanges, a narrow version for tighter inside corners, and then these segmented ones, so you can vary the width. The other thing that I really like about this that I don't think gets mentioned enough with these is you can hang a part off the side. This one just happens to be the same height as my table, almost exactly. So it really helps as a second person, if you will, which I don't have. So it helps me hold long parts off one side or the other, or off the back, to do more complex bending. But basically you can, if you do it right, you can bend parts in this corner and have parts hang off and go underneath, all kinds of really neat things. And then with the mag brake, you can actually bend a, essentially a 4-sided box that goes back on itself. And then when you turn it off, you just squeak this bar out the seam by opening things up just slightly with the spring of the material. But it's very, very handy. I'm sure I'm only scratching the surface on what you can use this for so far, but even now it's been just super, super handy for something that's on rollers that fits in my garage. I can roll this around, I can store it in a corner, I can pull it out. It does require 220 power for the magnets, but other than that, it's pretty easy to use. It's manual. So this is just the bending leaf here, and then it uses this very cool, I don't know if I can show you this or not, but these very cool hinges that basically hide inside the back of the leaf. So for Z-bends, you can do very, very small Z-bends that only you can actually remove this bar, and so your Z-bends can be about a 1/2 inch wide. So you can do jogs in material, which is very cool. So anyways, thanks for following along. We'll have some more for you. I think next week at this point, I'll probably try and drop a couple videos this weekend from New Orleans. So I'm heading out this weekend on a little mini vacation just to go find some sunshine and all that. So I'll check back with you guys on probably on Tuesday for this project of next week. But keep following along, and make sure you, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. I try to respond to everyone I can. And make sure you do the liking, the subscribing, there's a bell, all those things. Thanks for helping this channel grow, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.